Okay, friends. Well, I'm going to still be managing this back office. Thank you for your patience last week. And um, what do I say? Helping my son run that. You all were so kind. My Stephanie took over and did everything. And whew, when I go down, and there was no coming up for that. So thank you for your patience with that for this lunch and learn. We're so excited to have so many new faces on here and faces we see every week. Thank you for joining. We are going to have the recording. If you missed last week's, I know a lot of people asked for that. Go to the Lunch and Learn Facebook group. You talked me into it. There is a Facebook group that you can get the, or it's literally my name, Jennifer Enlow, on YouTube. It usually takes about 24 hours to get that on there. Sometimes if you go to YouTube, you'll see it before I get it posted to the Lunch and Learn page. But I don't know what the max is on a Facebook group page, but I'm sure we got to be reaching it. That's for darn sure. So I'll just keep it going and letting people in so you can share this with friends and family. It's for all levels of business, every division. This is a safe place to come inspire each other midweek to get filled up to. I love it because you know what? Everybody on here today could train on the same subject and we all would learn something new, wouldn't we? Because all of our minds are so incredible. And so thank you for making this a powerful event. If any of you have messaged me and you have not got, this is what I always want to preference. If you sent me a message, because some of you may not be my friend on social media, you might send me a private message and we try to get to all those. If we've missed anything, please do not have your feelings hurt. Just directly call me, message me again. I think I've answered everybody's everything, but I want to preference that because I never want someone not to feel valued or important or that their question wasn't important. But I know sometimes things get lost, if we're not connected on social media. So if you have reached out, please let me know or put it in the chat and I'll be watching that today and I'll go find you and make sure we're connected. Okay. So we have the powerful Loretta Jarvis. And let me tell you, she is one of my besties. So me, her, and Rebecca have been besties in Mary Kay for umpteen million years. I don't even know. I don't even know where the time went. I feel like we're 20, but clearly our bodies say something else sometimes. So she is the best of the best. When I say think outside the box, and this best friend of mine was number 2 in all of Emerald Division in sales one year. She is always top. I've never seen anyone sell so much flipping product in my life, with ease and grace. And so, Loretta, the graphic that you sent me, she's probably going to be training on something. She already sent me the graphic. I will post that on the Lunch and Learn Facebook group. Okay. And wherever you see this, like if you're on a Voxer group I'm part of, or any of other Facebook, like the Mary Kay National Area Facebook page, I always post the recordings there, and I'll post the graphic that she'll probably be talking about there with the recording, so it'll make sense. I didn't want to post it beforehand because I thought they'll be like, what in the world is this? Okay, so Loretta, I love your guts. You're beautiful inside and out. Here's the one thing I'll tell you all about Loretta. She is the most, not just powerful, but positive person you will ever meet. I could be on fire and she would tell me, well, at least your fingers aren't burnt. Like, she finds the positive in everything. I've never seen anything like it. It's natural to her. I could talk about you forever because I love you so very, very much. So, I do. So I'm going to spotlight Loretta. And if you don't like looking at the spotlight, just know if you go to right hand of your, Zoom up it on your computer, you can change that back to gallery and it'll put it like we're all like the Brady Bunch again. So Loretta, I'm going to let you take away, my beautiful friend.
Well, all right, Jenny Enlow. My goodness, you say so many great things about me, but it's really you who's so great. You put on this powerful Zoom meeting that I'm intimidated by. Oh my goodness. I would rather be talking with 100 people right now than on this in my bedroom, in my office by myself. But anyways, it is what it is. Jenny asked me to, we were on our way to seminar and she asked me if I would do this. And I thought at first, oh my gosh, I don't know if I want to. Zoom scare the dickens out of me. I really don't know what my hang up is on them, but COVID didn't affect my Mary Kay business at all because I had so many great customers. And, I still did push deliveries and hugged them throughout all of it. I just always asked if I had a mask. But Now what I'm upset about is because I see what all you guys have done with Zoom, and I've been such a pickler, stubborn person about it. But anyways, here I am talking to you today on it. I've honestly never had a Zoom by myself, but I have done some videos, like maybe 10. I don't even know if I can count them on my first 10 fingers, but because that's all we have is 10 fingers. But anyways, I'm going to talk to you today about selling, and I'm going to try not to be nervous so that you can all get something out of it. But anyhow, selling is absolutely my favoriteest thing ever. When I started Mary Kay 20 years ago, I had no idea that Mary Kay would ever be something like this. And I learned a lot. But there's one thing that I really learned is we tell about stuff all the time. Us girls are constantly telling. And we're listening to people tell us about things constantly. But really, we don't like to sell, but that's what we're doing when we're telling. So if you just would think about that, and let it soak in. It's true in our everyday life. I mean, we wouldn't. How many people? I love Cutco knives, and I have sold so many people on $1,000 knives, and I never made a commission off of it. Way before even Mary Kay. So the positive things to always think of is just don't think of selling anything. Just think about telling things to people. And so with that being said, I'm going to just start out that selling is my favoriteest thing in the whole world. And whenever I'm down in my Mary Kay business, there was really only 2 things that Mary Kay ever told us. And I didn't know that before, but it is very true. Either you sell something and you get out of your funk, or you go to something and you get out of your funk. And hopefully it's a Mary Kay meeting, something really positive. It wouldn't even have to be in Mary Kay, just something positive, a meeting, and you will always feel better and get back on the right track. Every day that you do little things in 1 year's time makes up to something huge, and it doesn't matter where it is. I'm going to talk to you about 2 basic things that have really changed my whole business. I've been in Mary Kay for 20 years, and I'll tell you a little bit about my story in and out through the 2 things I'm going to tell you about. And I don't know how long this is supposed to be. It'll probably only be 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I don't know, but whatever I tell you, I hope you run with it and you're excited about it. The longevity of these 2 basic things that I did has carried me through. And I know we hear nationals tell us this all the time, and there's probably nationals listening to this, but the longevity of something that you did a little bit and a lot of things is really what carries your Mary Kay through every instance in life. And something that made something work in no matter 1 year or 20 years, it doesn't matter. You will always go back to that because it worked. And so many people will tell you all these things that work for them, and you get all scatterbrained when really it's just the basics of our Mary Kay business that will carry us through everything. 20 years ago, I was in my 30s. I'm old now. But anyways, that was 2003 when I signed up. So I never got to meet Mary Kay because she passed away in 2001. But back then we heard a lot about her at all the seminars. Everything was just a lot about her. But anyhow, I went to my very first Mary Kay party when I was 18 years old, and I'll never forget that party. And all my parties that I ever been to, that party made the most difference in my whole entire life. And really, not that much came out of it because the lady was only in Mary Kay for I don't even think she was in Mary Kay for 6 months. But what she did at that party impressed me so that further on down the way, when I came into Mary Kay, I thought about that many times. I was 18 years old and I grew up Mennonite, so we never wore makeup. I mean, our skincare was literally lava soap. And I don't even know if any of you know what lava soap is, but it's the stuff that's hardcore. And I grew up on a dairy farm, and it got everything off of us from A to Z. It got it off of us. And we even bathed in the stuff. And that was our skincare. And all 4 of me, I was one of 4 sisters. We all had zits like crazy. And the only thing that we ever got to put on it was hydrogen peroxide, which really actually isn't that bad. At least we had something. But anyhow, we didn't grow up with anything, no skincare, no makeup. So when I was 18 and I went to my very first Mary Kay party, I was so excited. Oh my gosh, I was excited. And this lady was just my friend, and actually her husband had given me a tattoo when I was 17 because I was very rebellious, and my dad had told me that that was the only thing I hadn't done. And of course, that next weekend I went out and did it, which is awful. I had to get it covered up later on in life. But anyways, to make a long story short, I knew her from that. And she told me she sold Mary Kay. So I went to this party, and I was already 18 then, so I had been trying things out. And I remember that I thought blue eyeshadow was a thing because I have blue eyes, and mascaras never worked for me. I would put it on, I would be so depressed because I thought God was punishing me because I wasn't supposed to be wearing mascara, and I would have to stop alongside of the road when I was driving because all of this stuff would get in my eyes. And so I just thought no mascara was going to work for me. So I told them there was like 12 people at this party. I remember it was around a company table, and I remember thinking, wow, she has a big table like Mennonites do. But anyways, I remember thinking, if that mascara works, I'm buying it all. Everything she puts on me today. Well, I only bought that mascara as an ultimate. Clear back then, that would have been 30 some years ago. It was the ultimate mascara. No, it wasn't. It was the one in the pink tube. It was called, I don't remember. It was pink tube with gold writing, and it worked. And so I called her back in 2 days and I bought the whole thing. And she showed me all this stuff again. And she told me about this dress she rented. And she went to the closet and took this dress out. And it was this fancy ball gown. And I thought, oh, so fancy. It looked like Cinderella. And she told me she was going to this Mary Kay thing in Dallas. Well, fast forward all of that. 6 months later, she wasn't my Mary Kay lady anymore. And I couldn't find any Mary Kay to buy again. And so I didn't buy Mary Kay for years. And throughout those 10 years, I think I had 3 or 4 Mary Kay ladies, and they all quit. And one lady, actually, now that I know things, was actually a sales director, and she would always leave her product on the porch, and I'd have to pick it out of this can and leave my money in there because that was back, where we had checks, and I think that's all we paid with cash. And I'd leave my check in there and get the Mary Kay. I never met her. And then I moved, and so I thought that was really inconvenient. So I never went back to her. Well, long story made short, my husband started a new job, and his wife sold Mary Kay, and her name was Marlise Bate, and she was under Carrie Busker, who was our national, which retired a few years ago. And my life was changed, actually. I got back on everything, and she invited me to these Mary Kay meetings, and I went to 3 of them in a row, bingos, and they were just local bingos that consultants were having. And I was the only guest there, so I won all this red lipstick. And after the 5th one, I told them, I just think you should really give this lipstick to somebody who needs it because I just don't need it. And, I didn't like red lipstick. I thought that looked like somebody was standing on the corner back then. And so I just kind of told them that I didn't want it anymore. When this lady told me, she said, well, Loretta, why don't you just sell Mary Kay with us? We think you'd be great at it. And I said, well, I didn't know I could. And so then they told me, I said, well, what I got to do? And she said, oh, you just got to sign this agreement. It's $100 and you'll get all this product and you can sell it with us. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. I said, well, I guess I will because then I'll never lose my Mary Kay lady again. So that's how I signed up. I never knew I'd make $1. I never thought about making $1. But when I got that kit, I thought it was Christmas. I mean, there was so much in there. And there was 2 papers that were in there that I read, and I never read anything, but I was so excited about Mary Kay that I actually read some stuff. And this one paper said that if I placed a $600 order, that I would get a free roller bag. And I was like, oh my God. And it was just a black roller bag with hot pink, and I always wanted that because I seen that at that party. And they've had roller bags for years, and I always wanted one, but I never could afford it. And this time when I signed up, I had a daycare. I had quit nursing, had 3 boys, wanted to stay home with them, so I did a daycare. So I thought, well, gosh, I wonder how I could get this roll bag. I don't have $600 to place. So I read a little bit more in there, and it said in there that you needed to do 30 faces and do a perfect power start and tell 6 women about Mary Kay. So I thought, and that I didn't come from any trainings. Those meetings that I went to were not trainings. They were a bingo. And it was just fun, like a fun guest night, because I missed all the nights, I guess, that Carrie Busker came down. So I didn't know the bigger picture of Mary Kay. So I've seen that, and I thought, well, I guess I could do 30 faces. I think I'll just have all 5 of my daycare moms have 6 girls, and that'll make 30. And I'll just, share Mary Kay with them. And that will be sharing the Mary Kay too. And then, I'll be able to place my first order. Because I figured out the math that if I I don't even know how I thought that I would sell anything, but I thought that if they would get on the skincare. I got some color cards in there. I do remember that. And I was so scared of them that I thought, I'm going to save these for myself and use them because I didn't have color. And I told them I didn't have any color. All I had was skincare. So I'd have to get them ready for bed. So I go at 8 o'clock and I told them that we would have a PJ party because, you know, they were my daycare moms and that's nighttime. I mean, the kids are going to bed and we're all going to bed. So I did this in a week too. I don't even know how I did it without knowing anything. I did 30 faces. They all had more. It was actually 40 some faces. And I sold $1,500. And I didn't even know what to do. So I called Mary Kay and they helped me place the order. So that's how I placed my order. And I got my free roll-up bag. And actually it was $800. And I was so excited. So all this happened and I was like, I'm so poor. That was so nice. I got some money. So I thought I'll just do 30 faces every single month. That way I'll make $1,500. And so that's what I did for a year. I didn't even know what I was doing. I never told anybody about the business. I didn't know any of that part, except for the fact that I needed $1,500 a month. So Carrie Busker about this time was getting excited about me. And so she called me and wanted me to meet her in Newton. And this was already 3 years later. Like I had customers that bought a lot of Mary Kay and some customers that didn't buy very much. And throughout all these years, I learned to do color. I don't even remember all that. I just remember that all my skincare people, I booked for color appointments and later on did color. But anyways, I never went to a meeting or anything or seminar for 3 years when I was in. So this was already 2006. So in 2006, I go to seminar, and that was the year that Ari Hathaway and Dacia Wegant was number 1 and number 2. It was actually Dacia was number 1 and Ari was number 2. And I sat in Hall A, and because I didn't know how to recruit, obviously, that was why I was in Hall A. And I was just so excited to be in Hall A because I didn't know any different. And it was so wonderful. I learned all this stuff. And I talked to all these girls who had red jackets and girls who were sales directors, and they told me the same thing. 30 faces in 30 days. 30 faces. That was always their tip. I got so sick and tired of hearing it. I was like, well, I've already done 30 faces. Nothing happened. I just made money. So finally, after sitting in Hall A for 2 days, I realized the recruiting thing. So I started asking, well, how do you tell people about Mary Kay? And they told me. So I made a goal. I went home and I decided that I was going to do 30 faces and tell 60 women about Mary Kay. I was going to do 30 faces every month until 60 women and see where that got me. Well, 3 months later, I was a sales director and I earned my first car, and it was a red Vibe, and I was so stinking excited about that old lady car. I can't even tell you how wonderful it was. I'd never smelled a new car. I'd never been in a new car, and let alone a car that didn't even have a mile on it. It had 3/4 of a mile on when I got in it. And I was so stoked about that. I just remember that was the bestest car in my mind. It went through all kinds of snowstorms, everything. It did just fine, even though we have much nicer cars now. Well, anyways, that was that. Well, so the moral of the story is do 30 faces. That is your first thing. 30 first faces will take you places. Everybody has told us that, and that's without fail what it will happen. Well, in 2009, there was all these girls on my team that didn't want to sell Mary Kay, or people I talked to, they just wanted the 50% discount, and all this great stuff was happening that I didn't think was so great. And so I decided that I would make a program up, and I did. It was very, very simple. It was so simple. And when you see this flyer, it's never changed since 2009 because I don't have time to change that stuff, and it works. And I don't really think people care what your fancy posters and flyers look like. That what they care about is you and how much you care about them. It's just a paper, and if it's black and white and straight to the point, they'll do it. You just have to coach them a little bit, and that's your job, to coach. And so I made this little thing, and I perfected it a little bit through the year, like the first year, because of the fact that some things didn't stop. That's my puppy dog. I'm sorry. He's squeaking his toy. He thinks I'm getting too excited, I guess. Oh, my goodness. So anyways, I made up a little paper, and it was the VIP Preferred Hostess Program. And it was very, very, very simple. I decided that it was something girls could not say no to. If they wanted to save some money but not make money, this is the way to go. And that year I sold $85,000. And I'm going to tell you how I did it. And back then in 2009, that was quite a lot to sell. I mean, now they're selling over $100,000. And I asked the queen that seminar how much she sold, and it was like $140,000. No, the runner-up to the queen did that. And so the queen did more. I never even got to talk to her. But anyways, I'm just excited, for what happened. I'm sure if I made the same goal to get this many new preferred hostesses, who knows what would happen? Because back then the average facial was $50. Now the average facial is $200 or more sometimes. Jenny did a party yesterday. She sent me a message and told me all about it. She is amazing. Oh my gosh, Jenny, I love you so much, and I'm just so glad you're alive to tell about it. My goodness, she did a party with 3 new people she'd never met before. I had a full-blown seizure when she got there, and still left that party with $800, and girls that were even taking care of her. I mean, they had to. And it's amazing. I mean, way back in the day, that would have been unheard of if you would have gotten sick at your party and still sold $800. I don't think that would have happened way back then. So nowadays, the numbers are up considerably more than what they used to do. If I really made this goal and I worked just really, really hard to get 60 new, I'm sure I could be the queen. I just don't know if I want to work that hard. Anyways, it's all this is a girl to have 4 seasonal parties. Somebody who doesn't want to sign up, maybe somebody who has signed up but don't want to sell it anymore, but still wants her 50% discount. You can put her right back on this program, and she will get super stoked and super excited, and she'll sign her agreement quicker than a firecracker lighting off. You'll just see it. It's happened over and over again. Just in this last 6 months for me, it happened over and over again. And I went back to my preferred hostesses and they re-signed because they got all excited. It's even different than it was 10 years ago. But anyways, it's somebody who has a seasonal party, spring, winter, fall, and summer. And there's 4 stipulations. That's it. They have to have $200 in sales. They need to send me their guest list before her video appointment. And they need to have 2 new bookings at the party. And her next party counts for a booking. If it was a really slow one, you got to keep her excited. Her and one other. And she's going to work her hardest, and you're going to work your hardest to get another booking, and they're going to get it because they're going to want her to get her discounts this program. And that's to have 3 to 5 women over the age of 18 at her appointment. And in turn, she gets this all year long. 50% at her parties, which we all know, every 3 months, 50% at your parties, even if you had a consultant who wasn't working very hard. If she orders every 3 months, we're still grateful. That keeps us in our cars. That keeps us in our unit clubs. It keeps us in everything. That's what keeps us going, is a lot of people who do little things keeps us going in Mary Kay. And then, 1 out of 20 does humongous things, and it just bumps us over the top. That's what's so great about our business. And anyways, that's all she has to do. But there's a few coaching things for other things that she can earn free Mary Kay at her party besides get her 50% off. So she gets 50% off at her party. She gets 35% off all year round if she needs to order in between her party, because sometimes they get out of their eyeliner or it breaks, or their brunette eyebrow pencil gets out. You know how fast that thing goes. And they have to order little things or more CC cream, something. So they get 35% off then. And then at the parties, they get 50% off. So the things that they can earn free monies from, not cash, but free Mary Kay, is like if they do an interview with you, or if one of the team members, one of the guests does an interview with you, or if she has $500 in sales instead of $200 in sales, or if I make things up as I go for them to earn an extra $50 to $100. Whatever I need to grow my business in that season is what I make up in that preferred customer program that I want done extra, besides those 4 things they have to do. And it's just really as simple as that. But when I did this in 2009, I had a goal, and I don't know why I always go to 60, but I do. I had a goal to get 60 new preferred hostesses, and I ended up getting 70. I did over 200 parties. And a lot of them were the same parties. But if you have an extra incentive for them where they bring new girls every time that haven't been there, and my incentive is very simple. They have to love makeup. They have to not have a Mary Kay lady. And be her friend. That's basically the only things that they have to do for a new person to qualify as a new person. And for each new person that comes to our party, because you'll have the same 5 that come, which if you're building in other towns, and that year I was building in 13 states, and I would go and do hostess parties in these states. I would do 3 and 4 in a weekend in the same state, like if it was Oklahoma City, or I went all the way to Montana and did them. And it was the bestest money, the bestest time. I recruited. I was number 2 to the company that year. Plus I did triple quarts. So I always go back to that. And even if you never do anything in as big numbers as what that was a big number to get 70 preferred hostesses, because 70 times 4 makes 280 parties. However, I just did over 200 because not all of them had completed 4 parties because they all didn't sign up to do it, in month 1. So that is really something that I really wanted to tell you about. And Jenny's going to send this plain little piece of paper over to you. And it's plain, doesn't even have a picture of a girlfriend on it. But you know what? It has everything you need. Everything you need to succeed. You don't need to have a lot. You just need to have a good attitude, and you can do everything wrong with a good attitude and succeed, and have everything perfect to the T and not have such a great attitude and not succeed. So you have to be realizing that when you're telling people about stuff, you don't have to be perfect all the time. Not as far from perfect as they come. But anyways, I want to tell you something that happened. This is 2009. I don't know how many years later this is. This was 2009. This is 2023. So it's a number of years later. I think 13 years later. I have always been a pearl star, even in COVID when I did not hold a party. I didn't hold Zoom parties like you did, and I wish I would have. I still would. I still have. You know what? I'm not dead yet, so I still can. And you know what? I'm doing this Zoom with you today, and it's not that bad. So maybe I will get all excited and start doing parties on Zoom. But I did do some live parties on Facebook, like, I don't know, the video thing that you can do on Messenger where you can have 2 girls hop on and have a little video with them. I did that, and that was I've been doing that for years. And I would teach people how to do their 2+2 or their 2, checking them in 2 days, checking them in 2 weeks, and checking them in 2 months. I would always do a little live video like that with them because I can do that, because I can have my stuff right in front of me and do that with them while I'm doing it. That never bothered me. But for some reason, when hundreds of people are watching it, it really bothers me. I don't know why. But anyways, I don't even know what time it is. Let me see if I have a little bit of time. It's 1:27. I was going to tell you right now, I'm not going to go over the whole year, but I'm going to tell you what I do all year for this quarter anyways. I won't tell you the whole year. And maybe that'll be somebody else's training to do. But right now, we're coming up into September, and I'm going to tell you something to get bookings back on your books that have always helped me. Even, the hostess, I have preferred hostesses now. I still have 20 of them, of the 60 that diligently do that. And so 20 times 4 is still 80 parties that I'm doing. And if they're out of town, it's a smart way to build your business because they all reorder at the same time. You don't have to ship stuff. You just have it with you, or you can do the 2-day $7.95 ship and get it all to them just in 2 days. It's like Amazon. It's like special customers in Amazon. You can get it in 2 days if you do it right. Hopefully. Sometimes it doesn't always work that way. But if it doesn't, I always tell them, well, I'll give you 10% off next time. I'm sorry, I didn't get there in 2 days. You just make stuff up. I make stuff up. And if they told me I told them something, I probably did. So I just acknowledge it and say, yeah, you know what? I probably forgot. I probably told you that. But the thing is you can't be perfect. It don't matter what it is. Even Jesus wasn't completely perfect. We just have to be genuine and open our mouths, and then our businesses are open. It doesn't matter if you're consultant or director or national, it's all the same. They'll probably tell you that same thing. Carrie used to always do this little thing to me, and I love Carrie Busker. She is the most amazing woman. I love her, and everybody keep her in her prayers because she lost her husband a week and a half ago, or it might have just been a week ago. I don't know. It wasn't very long ago, and Mike's not here anymore, but she's going to have a whole new stage in her life. It's not going to be easy, and now she's not even in Mary Kay, but she just has all of us. So we have to just keep her in her prayers, because I know all of you that know Carrie loved Carrie, because she's somebody that was never perfect. And I always thought, gosh, if she can do this, I can do this. And that's what I want people to think about me. I want people at my parties to think, oh my gosh, Loretta can do this. I can do it. She's so crazy. She can't even put the cleanser on without telling a story or something. I want them to be able to think they can do something. I don't want to be a person that somebody can't replicate. Even if it's crazy, I hope they don't be as crazy as me. But anyways, right now it's September. Back to business. September is the start of my fall classes where you do your pumpkin lattes. And who you start with is your birthdays. People who you know who have a birthday. Even if you don't have a customer base, you can go to Facebook all day long and find birthdays that are your friends on Facebook. And hopefully they don't have a Mary Kay lady, but you'll have to ask that if you don't know them very well. But you can start out with birthdays, and they can be your contouring classes, because it's eye time now, and we got all these wonderful eye colors and lip things, and oh, we're the bestest lip liners and eyeliners that we ever did see now in the Mary Kay world. I love them. I'm so excited that they got the blue eyeliner back, even though I learned to not use blue, but I still love blue for eyeliner. It's just as beautiful. And I was even all depressed because I didn't get my falsies on today before. I had a hectic day. I had a facial this morning, and the dog threw up. Everything happened. I went to deliver Mennonite skincares, and so I didn't even have all my makeup on. I put all that on. I didn't get my falsies on, and I thought, oh, it's just going to come. Today's just like any other day. It's going to go past just like yesterday did, and it'll be over with, and the soon will be over with. And I was hyperventilating about that, and it's almost over with. So that's great. So anyways, back to the eyes and contouring for all your new leads that you're getting. Do before and afters. How hard is it to ask somebody in town, even if you don't have a business card? You can take your phone and have them put your phone number in there, their phone number in there, and then you can save them and call them real quick so you make sure it works. It's the right one. You can do before and afters with that. Fall before and after portfolios. Everybody has that. You can just go Google it, and it comes up every year. So, and then your birthday facials, I always give a 20% off all month long. So you know what? Some people are broke different times than other people's. And so they get paid every 2 weeks or whatever. And so they'll order half of their Mary Kay one pay period, and then they'll order half the other pay period. But they've been doing that for years with me. And the people that still wrote checks 20 years ago, they still write checks today. I still have to go put checks in the bank, or now we can take a picture of them and put them in the bank, because my bank's 45 minutes from here, because I don't live where I grew up anymore. But anyways, don't forget about that. And on a birthday facial, I always let them have 50% off if they share it with a friend or two. That's all you have to tell them. And if they don't want their 50% off of that, that's fine. They can just get their 20. It's not going to hurt anybody. In November, it's going to be all your holiday bookings for open houses. Call it a little mini holiday coffee or preview. Call it whatever you want to. Nowadays, there are fancy names in that, but I still call it a holiday coffee. I call it a holiday preview. And I go to 3 different towns, my hometowns, because I live 45 minutes away. So I go back home to the middle of Kansas and do in my 3 best towns that I started my customers with. I want to tell you something good. Do you know, I forgot to tell you this, and I had all this thing I was going to read to you, and I didn't read any of it. But anyways, I want to tell you this, that 6 girls out of my first 10 parties that I did before I knew color, any of that, in 2003, are still my best customers. They order skincare every 3 months without fail. Think of what a residual income that is in 20 years. I've been in America for 20 years. For somebody who didn't even know you could make $1. All this stuff just happened because I just told people about stuff. And we tell people about stuff every day. I'm going to go back to my preaching at the beginning. We tell people stuff every single day. I mean, we tell people about our dogs. I could have told you all my bubbles. If I would have told you about bubbles, you would want to go out and get your Rottweiler puppy. Even if you had to spend $2,000 for it, you would have wanted him because he's so wonderful. But the fact of the matter is, we tell people about stuff and we don't make any money on it. The movie. Some people liked the Barbie movie. Some people didn't. The people who love the Barbie movie, they sold everybody on it. I mean, there's Barbie everything out there. Good thing we're in Mary Kay. We can act like Barbie every day. But people sold that movie without ever even making $1, a cent. They just sold it because they told people about it. So that's the 2 big things, is to do your 30 faces, tell people, not sell people. And get your VIP preferred hostess program. Call it whatever you want to. Make a fancy flyer. I don't care. Jenny will have the ins and outs of it. It's very straight, very clear. And there really isn't any questions about it, except for the part that they earn their $50 to $100 for free extra on top of their 50%. That in turn, consultants and directors, is on you. You just do whatever you need to do to grow your business the way you want to grow it with that they can earn free Mary Kay on. Anyways, Jenny, I think that's all I have to tell you. I was going to talk a lot of other stuff, but I don't think I ever got to it. I'm sorry about that.
I think that was amazing. It's simple. we just got to get back to work, however you choose that. And that's what I love about this. Some of our virtual users for Loretta say she just now got on Zoom. Some of you are like, what are you talking about? Some have only worked on Zoom. But isn't that amazing that we do what matches our personality? Some only do Facebook parties, but her preferred hostess program, I have never seen so much product leave shelves like it does Loretta's, because even when she's not working, it has carried her through. No one would even know she's not working. All that reorder business is coming. It's residual income. So wash a darn face. Make someone feel special. Make them feel loved. It's not hard. Put it on, take it off. Who doesn't feel good? I mean, just put it on some people. There's proof in the pudding. So real quick, does anybody, you're welcome to unmute, have a question? Yes, I will post the flyer. So we'll get the recording. That's why I didn't want to post it first, because I knew you'd have a million questions before she could explain it. Because then you can tweak it how you want, right? If you need to be, but that's what I love about Loretta. It's always simple. And I've just watched her do it. It's amazing. So I will post it in that Facebook group. Does anybody
Loretta,
have any questions?
I got a question. This is Loretta. This is Jackie from Nebraska. Hey, thanks for all the tips and ideas. Wondering if you can reword your 20% off whole birthday discount, but if they get together with you on the day of, how did you word that with the 50% discount?
Well,
for the
at the beginning, it's now August. So you're going to print off however your reports are on your computer, if it's consultant or director, you're going to print off all your birthday reports so you can get ready, and it will print. If you click the month on the top there, it will click them in order. So I always start out with my birthdays, because you can get all your bookings from your birthdays if you just try. And some of them you don't get booked. I carry it for another month. I'm like, hey, your birthday's a month after America. It don't matter when your birthday is. I don't care. I'm just getting a booking. That's the way I look at it. It can be a birthday facial a month later because they had a death or their kid went back to school, or now it's back to school sales and all that. But what I do for their birthday is I get 20% off all month long, no matter if they place an order every day. I don't care. Some girls say one order. I say many as you want. Then if they share it with a girlfriend, their birthday facial, they can get 50% off of anything they want. I don't care if they buy $500. They're going to get $250 off. But they have to share it with a friend. Preferably a girl that loves makeup and does not have a Mary Kay lady. And you might have to coach a little bit on that. But when they're texting you back and say, oh, yeah, I have a couple friends that would love to do Mary Kay. I'm like, well, did she use, sometimes I say, well, has she ever bought Mary Kay for me? Because half the time my friend circle or my customers, they've all been in a preferred hostess party where they come every 3 months. And so a lot of them, if it's Tasha, I'll say, is it Tasha so-and-so? Is it Tasha so-and-so? And she's like, yes. I say, yes, invite her, because she's got off of a lot of stuff. She obviously didn't order for 2 years. So I'm excited if they invite her. So you just have to share it with a friend or two to get 50% off.
Love it. Thanks for that idea.
Hey, hi. To feed off that, this is Christine. When she brings a guest or two and you're giving her the 50% off, are you giving the guest any?
I'm absolutely not. You can pre-profile them and give them a goodie bag, but absolutely not. They do not get the discount. And do you know what? I had to have come to Jesus talks with some of my preferred hosts, and you'll come across it. I guarantee it. There's every personality in this world of the four, and you'll come across all of them. It won't. That's without fail. But they were sneaking their mom's Mary Kay in with their orders, so I had to come to Jesus talk with them. And I just told them, I said, listen, this is designed for you only. If they don't want to sell Mary Kay or become a preferred hostess themselves, and you can come to their parties too, I don't care. You can be one of their 3 girls that come to their parties. They don't get the 50% off. Only you do. And if I find out you do, then you're not going to get it. And they always would say they're so sorry, because they're my friends already by now. And let me tell you something good about having this program. Within 3 parties, they'll usually recruit onto your team. Because you've already made 10 customers.
I absolutely love that. That is fantastic. And then you're giving them those customers that were their friends, or
yes. So their open debut party, whether it's Zoom now or in person, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you do a party as long as you do one. You can do however you want to. But you can have all those girls that came to their parties and they already know you and love you, and they're going to be so excited that Susie Q is going to take care of them now. And I'll still go over there and help them. I don't mind. That's income for me because now they're on my team. So I'm going to be making 23% and 13% because they're all my personals.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Oh my gosh, you have been fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. Can't wait to re-listen to this while I'm driving again, and your flyer. That your excitement is just fantastic. Thank you very much for giving us.
Well, you're
your
not
time.
going to have anything fancy with the shenanigans, but it will work. I can promise you that.
It does work. And it doesn't have to be fancy. It's just simple. We just got to get back out there and start taking care of people again. They need us.
Do you know what? You want to hear something terrible and ridiculous? I shouldn't even say it out loud. But I tried for a whole day to revise this thing to make it fancy, and it didn't even turn out to be very fancy, and it stressed me out so much I threw it away and thought, I'm just going with the old one. I don't care if it's since 2009. I've used it all these years, so can they.
Yes. You don't have to redo anything. Oh my gosh, I love this. I hope you all have so many great nuggets from this, and we'll get the recording because I'm sure you'll want to listen to it over and over. I will post in the Facebook group, in the Voxer groups that I'm part of. I love y'all. Thank you all again for trying to invite me to all your things. And I would love to do that, but I just know I can't do them all amazingly. So I'm just going to stick to the ones I can. But I will post anywhere I posted about this is where I'll post the recording and the graphic for you. So you'll all have that. Anybody else have anything real quick before we go? Okay, friends. Well, I love you all. Thank you so much for joining. Loretta, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're brilliant as always. Always the best of the best. And you did just do this with hundreds of women, and it's probably going to be thousands by the end of the day when they all watch the recording. So, thank you, my friend.
It was awesome, Loretta. You did wonderful.
Thank you, Loretta.
Appreciate all your hard work, and I do know that it is hard work, but it's just, you have no idea how much.
Oh, that was so kind. Bye, ladies.
Loretta, you did a wonderful job.
Really helps us all, and I share this with my team and the girlfriend.
Yes, I hope you all are giving these queens some run for their money now this next year. I think you can with all these new tools we have.
Totally agree.
Loretta.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.